Hello, everybody. Welcome to Burnout Culture. The industry sucks, and so do we. I'm GC, your host for this magnificent episode, and I am joined by...
I am Cullen. I was supposed to figure out something else to say, but I didn't have an objective marker to my notes, so I forgot.
I'm Hayes. My cat is currently seeing me for the first time in 4 days, so...
Today, we've got a pretty... I don't know about y'all, but I actually have quite a few things to talk about this podcast episode. If we are in need of topics, I will certainly be more than equipped to discuss them. But has anything like interesting happened this week in the world of video game news that we should talk about before we get on to like our
Dragon Quest?
our weeks?
I mean, there was a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm seeing people crash out about it because it wasn't like exactly what they wanted, even though it was a partner Direct.
That happens every time. There's people,
Yeah, I was
but
going
like
to
there are
say,
people
right?
who like a partner Direct happens and they're like, well, it wasn't a real Nintendo Direct.
Or there's people that are like, what the hell? They didn't fucking announce Hyperzone 2? This is bullshit. And then you're like, what did you expect?
I'm seeing like channels who I do like respect usually like put out thumbnails that's basically the equivalent of like, Daddy's not gonna make it. Help. This isn't what we needed right now. We're fucked. And I'm like, you don't need anything. It's a video game show. It's toys. You don't like, it's a fucking, you go like, oh, a couple of games I might want to play on my Switch. Cool. And then you move on.
It was pretty standard for a partner Direct of like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, there's a few cool things. There's a few things I don't give a crap about. And that's just kind of how they go.
Yeah, like great. I think the only like actual critique I'll accept is that ending it with fucking Bethesda games is cringe.
Yeah. I also think it's very funny that the Resident Evil footage had to show Leon like missing all of his shots. So they didn't have gore.
I realized it wasn't just the Resident Evil stuff.
Yeah.
It was also in the Indiana Jones stuff. It was like in anything that could have had violence, they either purposely missed or like hit somebody's foot.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
I don't
I'm
feel like
really
it's
excited,
not
though.
usually that noticeable.
Yeah,
No, but also those games aren't usually what's on
that's true.
the direct. I was
I'm
gonna
excited
say
for RE9 though. That on Switch 2 looks so good.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say people always feel that way about directs. I think people take the term direct too literally, where they're like, for me, where it's like usually those press conferences are never like about catering to like one specific person. They're catering to like everybody. So it's like, yeah, no matter what conference you watch, there's gonna be in your eyes a stinker, right? Because it's like, this does not interest me. But there's somebody out there who sees a trailer for something and is like, oh my god.
There was some weird stuff like Tokyo Scramble, that weird like dinosaur survival game.
Yeah.
That looks so weird. And that's from the the devs who did what is it called?
Tokyo Jungle?
The Metroidvania.
Oh.
I know on the page it says by Binary Haze.
Yeah.
I don't really recognize that too much though.
They did the it's bothering me.
I feel like I have to
I think they did the Ender Lilies games. Yeah, the Ender
cool.
Lilies and Ender Magnolia. That's that studio.
I feel like I have to buy that one. Like I saw that and I just started like clapping furiously. I'm like, okay, yeah, finally like AA ambitious games like this exactly. Like I don't mean this negatively. I have no negative bones in my body when I say this. PS3 game, and I clap affectionately.
That's why I loved Exoprimal. It's a PS3 multiplayer game. That game's so good, man.
Oh, so good.
Like,
I loved Exoprimal.
This seems like a game you would find on PSN on a weekend when you're like stuck at home in like the early 2010s, like, you know, and your parents are out of town. You're like, oh, I'll check this out. And
it's like $15. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I'll be ready to have my life changed forever because I now have an appreciation of AA media. And then, you know, because of inflation, it's now $30 instead of 15. But like, you know, it's still like trash. Like that's a PS3 game, and I'm fucking stoked. Put that on the back of the box. I'm in. But there was there was cool stuff.
The opener was
thing.
neat. I like the co-op game. I don't know if I'll ever end up playing it, but I would really love to play that.
I saw someone say like Orbitals. The best thing about it is like it's a Hazelight game that's not written by Hazelight, and that might be the best thing, honestly.
Is Hazelight the people that do all those other co-op games?
Yeah, they did It Takes Two and what was
Way Out?
What was that one called that came out last year? Split Fiction.
One of
mechanically one of the most mechanically interesting games I've ever played in my life, with just like dog shit writing.
Just like the most
just
like
millennial dog shit. Yeah.
Millennial writes a light comedy kind of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. What else? Oh, well, we already talked about boring at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, bad game, boring game, boring.
Kyoto Xanadu looks very interesting.
I'm pretty hyped for Kyoto Xanadu.
It does not look like what I expected it to be, but I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, you expected, like, because Tokyo Xanadu was just cold steel with a new coat of paint and like light east combat. So I was just expecting like
better looking version of that.
No, I was expecting something in between like Horizon and East 10 gameplay wise that just looks like, Horizon, but instead they're actually going back to like older Xanadu games, and it's like a side scroller that is also like it also has like I think 3D arena combat.
Yeah, for bosses.
It's like super
and stuff,
interesting. I'm really intrigued by this. It with the way it was doing like the side scrolling, it reminded me of this old Vita game. I think like Axis publishes like Valkyrie something, or is it by like the Valkyrie Profile guys? I don't fucking know, but like it looked really cool. I popped off. I'm not afraid to admit it. Apparently people are saying that the script looks very like dry from what they showed.
I mean, it's a minute trailer, so I don't really I'm not gonna put much stock in that.
Well, people are like, this looks like MTL, and I'm like, I wouldn't throw that around unless we had proof. But at the same time, like I expect that, like, if this is not a Falcom game being published by NIS America, it's just not going to have a good translation. Like, I think that's pretty fair. And it's crazy how far we've come with that statement.
I really want to check that out because it looked neat. It makes me want to go play Tokyo Xanadu.
I like Tokyo Xanadu a lot, but it does have it's pretty generic in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, you do not like. This seems like it's going to be something entirely different.
Also, secret thing about me. Sometimes generic is like my thing.
It's one of those like good like comfort food RPGs. Yeah, like you play it and you're like, I know exactly what this is going to be, but I enjoy it.
Pick it up on Switch so you have the better translation.
Oh, really? It's one of those where it's like they never patched the other versions.
No, I don't know if they were allowed to. I mean, like, I think there might be a mod.
The new version was published by someone else, right?
No, it was still Axis. But like they seem to imply they could not like easily patch it, like the new translation in. But like you might be able to just mod it into the PC version. I don't know if
the EX Plus version.
Yeah. But I remember the game this reminded me of, like the side scrolling part of it, and it reminds me of an old game called like Exist Archive.
Oh yeah,
like with the way the side scrolling works. And I was like,
that was by Triace, the Star Ocean people.
Yeah. Did that ever come to PC? I feel like that would be really good on PC.
I don't think it did.
No, it didn't. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a weird game because it was developed by Triace but published by Spike Chunsoft.
Yeah. I might need to go track down a PS4 copy of this. I bet it's worth like $1 billion now though.
I'm trying to figure out
$40 new on Vita. Okay.
Trying to figure out if there was anything else from that direct that I can like remember, but I'm drawing a blank. That's how I feel with most like conferences nowadays, where I'm like, I don't retain anything anymore.
Paranormal Site looks great.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Are those games like super scary, or are they just kind of creepy scary?
They're not. I wouldn't
They're a
say
little
they're
scary.
scary. Yeah.
They're just macabre, maybe.
Well, so they're not scary if you're like a normal person, so you're going to be terrified. You're gonna
All
cry
right.
and you're gonna pee your pants and you're gonna have to keep stopping to go like change pants because you'll pee it so much.
They're so nice to me. Thank you
Well,
so much.
Okay, but like you have to admit, you have literally been like, I'm a little baby when it comes to horror. I'm a little
I am.
scaredy baby boy.
It has a
am.
few
Yeah.
like jump scary parts. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's more
So you're-
like creepy.
Is it scarier than Signalis? Yes, no.
No.
Okay, then I'll be fine because I played all of Signalis in like one sitting, and I was fine.
It has some very cool like fourth wall breaking stuff where you have to like go into
Okay.
menus and screw around with settings
Yeah.
and stuff.
No, yeah, that's just really cool. And I hope the next one is like also.
Yeah, I'm really
you know.
interested to see what they do with the next one.
Some creative stuff. Oh, I remembered the one that I was like interested in. It's the Emilio Millennium
Oh,
Across
Adventures of
the
Elliot.
Millennium. Elliot,
yeah.
Adventures of Elliot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want that. I want to play that. That looks
That's
cool.
honestly, I think, my most anticipated game of the year. Because like,
Really?
yeah, like every HD-2D game has been pretty good to phenomenal. And this is the first like action RPG HD-2D game. And it straight up looks like Square Enix making a Zelda game, honestly.
Yeah, it looks like Legend of Zelda East,
Yeah.
and you know, I'm
Yeah,
down.
I was like, I want this. This looks neat. Give me. Is this like brand new? Is it a remake?
It's,
Like,
no, it's
brand new.
oh, from the creators of Octopath Traveler, Bravely Default. What? Cool. All right, I'll check that out for sure. Anything else from the direct? I don't think so, right?
I mean, Resident
by
Evil
the
looks
way-
really good. Digimon's coming to Switch.
Pragmata
By the
still
way,
looks
you notice
fun.
how they're bringing over Fallout 4, Oblivion Remastered, Indiana Jones,
Mm-hmm.
Skyrim.
Well,
No
Skyrim's already on
Starfield.
Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
no
Starfield.
Starfield. No, they're embarrassed of that.
Let's start for, and you can't tell me, oh, it's because the Switch 2 can't run it. Bullshit. That fucking console can run that game.
Yeah, speaking of stuff the Switch 2 can run, another thing we forgot, fucking Rebirth on Switch 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Very
yeah.
soon, too.
Yeah, like
Which-
4 months away.
I've seen other people say this, but like, if they're getting Rebirth on Switch that soon, I think we're getting Part 3 reveal at Summer Game Fest.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
it's part 3 is either like late this year, early next.
Yeah.
Like it, and they also said like they more or less implied like, hey guys, we're giving you part 3 news this year.
Yeah, Hamaguchi put a statement out that was like, we're going to reveal more info about the remake trilogy than ever before this year.
Oh, cool.
I am as someone who like really liked that Switch 2 port of Remake. I am like, you know what? I might be 30 hours into my playthrough of Rebirth. Fuck it. I'll restart it on Switch 2.
Can
I don't care.
If I have Intergrade, can I play the Intergrade like extra story stuff without having played
Yeah.
the campaign?
Yeah, it's a
on the
totally
menu.
separate mode.
okay.
different game.
Because I wanna play Rebirth, but I never played Intergrade, and I hear Intergrade is like pretty damn good.
Oh, it's
Yeah, without it,
so
you're not going to
great.
know who Yuffie is.
I
you're
know
gonna be
who
like,
Yuffie
who-
is. It's
You're going to be
fine.
like, ding, I don't know who Yuffie is. I have to go play this campaign because Yuffie, who are you?
For people that don't know, Cullen often points out my little observations while we're watching movies, which are not criticisms, just me like being amused by someone doing a thing in a movie or a piece of media that's like, oh wait, I know that wouldn't work in real life because I know science stuff. And Cullen goes, ding, GC did a CinemaSins. GC hates this movie because it doesn't follow the laws of physics. And every time he does it to me,
You laugh.
I see red. I
You
want to
laugh
kill
and you
him.
Applaud. Because if I
want
were
to
to stop
hurt
doing
you.
it one day, you would be sad.
No, I wouldn't. I would be totally okay with it never happening again.
You're gonna be an old man and you're gonna find out about my passing and you're gonna watch a movie and you're gonna be like, that's unrealistic. And then you're gonna think about it for a second.
And there's gonna be silence, and I'm gonna do a little smile, and I'm gonna go finally.
Like, he's in hell now.
Rest in peace, bozo.
I win.
Anyway,
I was really excited to hear that Time Stranger was getting a 60 FPS mode on Switch 2, because I was like, big points for my agenda. The Switch 2 is now the only console that is capable of running Time Stranger at 60 FPS. But then, like, I found out that they're just going to patch that into the console version when the Switch 2 version comes out, and I got sad. Bandai is made up of a bunch of frauds.
You mean people making good business decisions in this case? Yes.
No.
Of people providing their existing consumers with quality of life improvements.
I just think that if you bought it on a PlayStation 5, you don't deserve anything. Is that too much to ask?
Yes.
But I will say though, apparently, like I think I've only ever seen this when, like, with their version of Sparking Zero on Switch 2. But if you have like it, so it's gonna be like, it's getting a Switch version, which is like kind of cool. And the native Switch 2 version is going to be a key card. But if you buy the Switch 1 version, you can download an update that just like, it's not like a full on like upgrade of versions. It just unlocks the Switch version to be the Switch 2 version.
Huh.
It's kind of like what, like Dragon Quest III did. So like, there's literally no reason to buy the key card. You could just buy the Switch 1 version if you want a physical, and then you just get the Switch 2 version in all but name.
Ooh, interesting.
But overall,
other thing about the Direct, the Resident Evil amiibos are extremely ugly.
Oh yeah, they're hideous.
Ooh, man.
Someone in a Slack chat I'm part of said they look like wedding toppers, and I absolutely cannot unsee it now.
That's so true. Those things were made to be disposed. Hey, Leon's face on that amiibo. It looks like they took like a bad Link mold and tried to just like put a wig on it. You know?
I'll be honest, I don't know why they're even making amiibos anymore.
Capcom's I get the Nintendo ones. But, like, the Capcom ones are weird. Like, who really wanted to buy the Street Fighter amiibos?
I don't think anybody did.
Yeah. I see them in stores all the time.
At this point, they're just collector's items, I feel. Where it's just like, it's scalpers and... I don't even think... I guess I gotta check. I haven't checked in a while, but I don't even think scalpers are interested in amiibo anymore.
You know, the only thing I'm glad I have amiibo for is Codename Steam on the Nintendo 3DS, because I can go put my Fire Emblem amiibo in that game, and I can get Ike and Marth and other Fire Emblem characters in that game.
Marth.
Like,
I can have Ike and Abraham Lincoln on the same team.
it's like the irony in that when amiibo came out, people were like, I don't like that they're putting like content on the amiibo. But now it's like the only thing they're good for, because the novelty of having a figure is gone because they made so fucking many that it's like, well, I don't really care anymore. Like it's no longer like here are the Smash characters as an amiibo, right? Or like here's this as an amiibo. I feel like amiibo has like outlasted its like novelty, so now it's just a really impractical version of like DLC.
Yeah.
That would usually just be a pre-order bonus otherwise. Especially
now, because you have like 6 different Kirby's and 10 different Marios. And...
yeah, it's like I can't keep up, and I also just kind of don't mess with it. The only one that I really want, the only amiibo that I really wanted, is the Bandana Waddle Dee. Because my friend bought it, and like I got to look at it up close, and it's like some of the texturing on that is like just incredible. Like the bandana has like thread molding, so like it looks like a piece of thread that's been like encased in stasis forever.
The
It's pretty cool.
the one I'm happiest I got is still the giant Detective Pikachu amiibo.
Oh yeah,
It's like 4 times the size of all the other ones. That one's still on my desk. I really like him.
I was at the Nintendo store on my first trip to New York for like a press event, and I'd never been before, and I was just like browsing. I was having a good time, and like I saw the 2-pack of Xenoblade 3 amiibos with Noah and Mio, and it's just like I just grabbed it, and I was like, I don't care how much this is. Whatever you're asking for, I'm buying it, and I've never taken it out of the box. I think it was like $50, but I was like, yes.
Yeah, they've gotten so expensive too. Those Kirby ones are, I think, $40, aren't they?
Yeah. No, I think they're 50.
Jesus Christ.
Granted, I've seen one in person. They're fucking gorgeous, but like, no.
I can't spend that, man.
Besides, I think that was like mostly everything at the direct. It was a good time. I had fun. I don't like that they do those so early in the morning, but like, what are you gonna do? Like I took the day off for Dragon Quest because it was a Dragon Quest release day, and I was like, oh, I'll play some Dragon Quest. I'll sleep in, and then I'm like, oh god, even on my day off, I'm like waking up at normal work time just to see the fucking Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, I don't even, like, I don't have a job where I have to cover it anymore, and I still watch the damn thing.
It's fun. You hop in a Discord call with people, and you just like chill out.
Yeah, that's good. Do you want to talk about which? Okay, wait.
You want to rip the Band-Aid off and just talk about Dragon Quest?
Do we? Okay, can I talk about the good one? Sorry, wait. I'm ruining the surprise.
Yeah, you could talk about the one that doesn't suck.
The one that is without its caveats. I feel personally.
And I think we've all played it, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so I finished Dragon Quest II HD-2D Remake this week. I've been playing it for like 2 months ongoing now. Actually, 3 months. Because I've been streaming it and I've only been doing like 2 or 3 hour streams. So I finished it just now. Like on Monday or some shit. I don't remember. Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Doesn't matter. And I just want to say, I'm sitting up for this.
Okay, wow, he's getting ready.
Not only do I think this is one of the best re-releases of a Dragon Quest game ever. Specifically 2. 1 is also very good, but specifically 2. The remake of 2. Not only do I think this is one of the best Dragon Quest games they've ever made, I think you should take the remake of Dragon Quest II HD-2D and put it in game design classes, and you should have a course one day, 1 week, maybe one part of the curriculum should address remakes, as they are now, whether you like them or hate them, they are a part of the industry. And so I feel that booting industry professionals should learn about them and how to make them. This is the game you show them to be like, this is how a remake is constructed. Because I feel like, because it is an incredible remake, and I'm going to explain why by extrapolating my opinion on this remake into a more general discussion of what a remake should aim to achieve. Where the discussion around remakes for a while has always been people arguing, and we've done this ourselves, where we talk about, is a good remake one that is faithful or one that does something new, right? And after playing this remake, I've realized that the goal of a remake, what you do with a remake in terms of like, do we keep it faithful? Do we do something new? Doesn't matter. What matters is how you do the thing you decide to do with it. And what I mean by that is, in Dragon Quest II HD-2D Remake, you are playing Dragon Quest II. And that is insane to say. It feels identical. The experience of playing Dragon Quest II is identical to the experience of playing the original. And that is insane to say, because that remake looks, plays, narrates like nothing like the original Dragon Quest II, and yet it still feels like it's Dragon Quest II. It still reminds me of Dragon Quest II in a very fond way. It's as if they've taken, you know how we talk about, it's like, oh, well, this is what people thought this was and not necessarily what it actually was.
Yeah.
It's like they've taken that energy and they've successfully delivered, like, they've really like delivered what my imagination did to fill in the gaps of the original storytelling in Dragon Quest II, and they just like put it to paper. And I think that is like a masterclass example of revisiting an existing work, especially if you are not necessarily the person that worked on the original, which is very important, where that remake doesn't feel like them going, oh, we're gonna quote unquote fix it. Oh, we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna look at it to see how I can do it better. Yeah. This isn't like I'm gonna do something different with it because I don't want to tarnish the original. No, this is literally examining the work and going, okay, this is what this work is about. This is what this work is. This is what they were trying to do in the era they were doing it. How do I pull the threads on this and unwrap it and then reweave this whole thing into a nicer, more like modern like thing, but like it's still the same like concept. One second. So like there's just like this like there's a quality to this remake that I've never experienced in any other remake of anything ever, in that everything about it is different. Everything about it is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like if you played the remake that we're talking about, and you haven't played the original, I just want to let you know, none of the dialogue that you read in that remake was in the original. None of the character motivations are in there. Yep. They're there, but most of it is you, the player, imagining what that would look like.
There's a lot of filling in the gaps.
Yeah, because it's an NES game. They can only do so much.
But it's almost all filling in the gaps, which is fine, because that's traditionally what RPGs did. Like there's a great quote recently. I forget who said it. It's like a veteran game dev talking about like how when they write RPGs, especially back in the day, or when you play RPGs, you know, your brain should be like imagining, like, yes, like you see the character hit the enemy on the screen, but like in your brain, you're imagining something quite different. Like you're creating like a much more exciting scenario than just what's on the screen. And that's like the joy of playing an RPG. It's the imagination in your brain coming to life, and you start like auto completing little character tensions based on what's in the game already, right? Like you create like fake scenarios in your head about the thing. That's one of the joys of playing an RPG. But this game just sort of like, it has that energy. It has like, it feels like it's made by somebody who played Dragon Quest II and was like, yeah, this is how I always thought it like felt. But instead of it feeling like I'm going to like add my own spin to it, it just feels very organic to that story, to that setting, to that premise. It's incredible. It's just flat out like one of the best ever. And I feel like from now on, I will be framing and evaluating other remakes based on how successful it achieves that.
It's crazy because like Dragon Quest II, like it's also not something I would say it fully shares with the remakes of 3 and 1, which you're supposed to play first. It's like they made those, and you know, like 1 changes some stuff in ways that I think it not detracts fully, but isn't really additive to like the work as a whole. And then it's like you almost get the feeling that they were possessed like by like, you know, like spirits of a different plane when they made the remake, and then they like woke up and they were like, what the fuck is this? Who made this? And they like just, you know, it was like, oh, it came with some credits. Who made it? Oh, God made this.
And I think it's important to note that it's like, I feel like with 2, the reason it feels that way is probably because 2 is famous for its like production issues and like its roughness, like in hindsight and stuff like that. There's some great interviews with Hori and I think it's Koichi Nakamura, the guy that founded Spike Chunsoft, or just Chunsoft. And it's literally like off the heels of them just having put out Dragon Quest 2, or like it was like, sorry, no, they put out Dragon Quest 4 and they were doing an interview and somebody asked them about Dragon Quest 2, and they just go on and on about like, oh yeah, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, we wanted to do this but we couldn't do it. Like Dragon Quest 2 was supposed to have like cutscenes. It was supposed to have like cutaways to like renders of like an actual scene playing out, like a story, almost like a picture in a storybook. But they couldn't do it. And the sister of the Prince of Canock was supposed to have a greater role at the end and like a plot twist sort of thing. Like they had like all these plans and they never got around to doing it. They struggled with balance. People
Basically,
that have played Dragon Quest
interviews
2
were like, so what do you think about the game, Hori? And they're like, fuck, we hate it.
Yeah, they didn't like it.
And then the interview was like, fuck, I hated it too.
And like when the people that made this remake, they had to be aware of those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like they were, but instead of going, oh, you know, this was trash, they had like an understanding of a more complex like relationship with it, where it's like, yeah, it's rough in some places, and yeah, the Prince of Canock dies every 2 seconds and he can't keep himself alive to save his own life. But like, you know, there's like this really cool thing here and this really cool thing here, and like we can't just like throw this whole thing out. We have to like there's a reason that nobody just outright hates this thing, right? Like there's a reason that people are just kind of ambivalent to Dragon Quest 2 at best, right? And it's not necessarily like there's just like this like, I can't believe other remakes don't make me feel this way or haven't made me feel this way, where I'm playing it and I'm like, oh, I am being fed such good new stuff, but my feelings, this experience I'm having is identical to the original. That's so like my brain is on the fritz trying to articulate that, because I've never felt it with a remake. I have never felt like this like synchronization between the original and the remake, despite the fact that they are miles apart from each other. And like I just can't I can't look at any other remake the same way ever again.
Because you're not usually a remake guy.
Well, usually, okay, so yes,
it's
and no.
nuanced, I know, but like you
usually I prefer remakes to be more faithful to the original.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when people go back and try to like rewrite something or do like a twist where it's like it's not the same thing, it kind of like falls under like this kind of schlocky sort of storytelling that I don't like, because I feel like it's very once you've broken that, it's no longer a remake of that game, it's just a brand new game.
Yeah.
So it's not a remake, right? Which is what I want out of a remake is exactly what I got out of this, which is I want to feel like I'm like the same feelings I had in the original experience, but like be exposed to sort of like this deeper understanding of those things where the original just it physically, technologically, you know, logistically could not deliver on, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where I am with remakes. So yeah, usually I'm not a remake guy, but this is like the best of both worlds, and I think it's because it wasn't trying. It was looking at a remake, at creating a remake from a very different angle than I think a lot of other studios and people look at making remakes. I think the perspective was very different and very like well-rounded and very studied, as opposed to like, you know, some fucking guy revisiting something he made that he didn't like and going, I'm gonna do it better this time, you know, or like
shit out.
Yeah, like which is not what you do, because when you remake your old works of art, you are no longer remaking it. You are remaking it for the people that love it. So you can't just like throw everything out or add a bunch of stuff that's not what that thing is, because then it's not that thing. So like it's complicated and whatever, but like yeah, just phenomenal thing. I got to play the post game.
You sure do.
Which is why
yeah,
it's really disappointing. Sorry.
That's actually a big part of it as well, is the post game.
Yeah. I did not like the post game dungeons. I do think they're worth it though.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I slapped that shit to very easy, put on a podcast, just blasted through it with a guide, and then turned it back on when I had to fight the, post game boss.
I gotta be is it Men at Work that does the Land of Confusion song?
I don't know.
Is that Men at Work? This is the land of confusion. It's because the post game dungeon is called the Cave of Confusion. Also, the other post game dungeon that's not the Cave of Confusion, Cullen, is the same one from Dragon Quest III remake.
Yeah, which is why it's like it's fine.
Yeah, and then that's whatever. But yeah, amazing. Just I
don't think all of Square Enix's remakes have been good, but I do think by and large they have kind of figured out the important pieces of doing a remake.
Yeah, they're getting there.
In comparison to other companies, which might have a remake coming out soon.
Yeah.
I think they do it well enough. I think they do it well enough. I have a lot of gripes about remake, but I still quite liked quite a bit of remake anyway, despite that. But yeah, which is what makes it so disappointing that the new Dragon Quest VII remake seems to not understand any of those things at all. I haven't played through a lot of it yet, but I played through I got to the first like vignette in the past, and then I had to stop. But as I was playing, I was doing the opening, and then I was like, okay, well, they cut a lot of the puzzle solving stuff from the 3DS version, so this probably won't be there. So I was ready for that. What I wasn't ready for was them forcing a combat encounter before the party encounters monsters for the first time.
Yeah.
In the past.
Oh my god. Oh god. All right. Just to back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's give people some context, because despite, our assumptions, I assume not all of our fans are Dragon Quest heads. Yeah. Dragon Quest VII is known as kind of like, I don't want to say it's like a black sheep per se.
No, that's 6.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think more people are aware of 7 worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit more of like a stigma against 7 because it's considered like the longest game in the series. That's too long, and
yeah, a lot of people think it's bloated. Almost,
it's bloated, and it's like
there's a lot of problems with the PS1 version of 7. One of the biggest issues is that the localization for the original 7 is fairly terrible.
Yeah,
fairly terrible. Like, to the point where the guy that was translating it was literally like, "Oh, we didn't have time, so we just transliterated everything. So we just did literal translations, direct translations, because there was too much text." He claims there's 20,000 books worth of text in Dragon Quest VII, which
sounds like an exaggeration.
It sounds like an exaggeration, but apparently there's a picture out there of the script in like 3 bookcases or something like that. Allegedly, that's the script.
Mm.
But yeah.
So like you have a lot of like complaints where it's like, oh, it takes 30 hours to unlock classes. It takes so long, like 5 hours to get to your first battle. A lot of like, petty little complaints like that. And they made a 3DS remake that already kind of cut down that intro by a couple hours. And I think made it like a bit quicker to get to the classes as well. And even like gave you a little radar to find tablet fragments, because the big gimmick of the game is that You like the game starts and you exist on the only island in the world. You find on this island these tablets that you can like piece together, and these tablets take you back in time to all of the other islands to save them so they get re-added to the world. So your gameplay loop is go to an island of the past, do its little vignette storyline, come back to the present, find the tablet fragments in that part. Like, you know, it's a puzzle adventure game. It's literally inspired, like the original was literally inspired by Myst. And so like, you know, you have to talk to people, look around. You are required to engage with the world and find the tablet fragment. So, you know, the 3DS version makes an like a concession. It's like we have a little device that'll like glow every time you're near a tablet fragment, but we're not going to tell you where it is exactly. The remake, the new remake, because I guess they felt they needed 2 remakes, even though the last remake was pretty beloved, aims to cut back even more tedium. I'd say like if the original game you could beat in 100 hours, you could beat the 3DS version in 80 hours, and supposedly you could beat this remake in like 40 to 50. So they've cut back on a lot of the quote unquote tedious busy work of the game. They've streamlined a lot. They've cut a lot of content. They've made a lot of islands optional this time. And I think one of the things they even claimed was, we're going to make it so that you can get into a battle much quicker than you could in the original, like in the original game. And we're going to make it so you can unlock classes much quicker than in the original game. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, whatever. That's weird, but fine. And like one of the gimmicks is that in the past you find monsters, but in the present there aren't monsters around, like mostly.
There are before you go to the first area, the characters don't even know what a monster is.
Yeah.
There are like, no monsters. Like people don't know what they are.
So when you go back in time for the first time and your friend Maribel, like, you know, is wandering off because like you all also don't realize you're back in time and you're attacked by slimes, it's this big deal that like your cast is like, oh, what the fuck is this? Where are we? What are these things? But now they make you fight a little battle on the home island. And I think like I might be willing to forgive them for this if it wasn't for the fact that the new battle they added is only 5 minutes before you go back in time for the first time. It's like at that point, just wait.
It doesn't feel like it really adds anything either.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, is what I feel about the entire game. Is I don't think all of these little nips you've made add anything to it. But yeah, to go over like just a general list of like, and I'm yapping, if y'all want to like chime in, go for it. But like big things are forced objective markers, multi-class. The entire like combat system was changed from like picking all of your you know, like your character's like skills at once and then having them all play out to just you pick an action, you go. But now also you see weaknesses on enemies before you have ever fought them, and you cannot turn that off. So you always know, no matter what skills actually do more damage to the enemies. Party chat has been gutted to just now be mostly like, instead of being like a way to just kind of add like some flavor text and maybe occasionally remind you on what you need to do, it is now basically all tutorials. It is like basically saying like I remember a part in the very beginning of the game where like Kiefer, your buddy, is like, we have to go like talk to all these people and we have to figure out where to go. And like you walk out and you immediately see objective markers all over your home map. And every 5 steps, Kiefer's like just telling you where to go. And I'm like, oh, I don't need you to have Kiefer tell me where to go if you are going to just put objective markers all over the map anyway.
Well, you're forgetting the other annoying part about the party chat. Party chats have always been like kind of tutorial, but there's also been a lot of flavor in them. But that's not my problem with this this remake.
That's mine, because 4, 5, and 6's party chat is amazing.
Yeah, but that's not my only problem is what I mean.
Know.
You forgot the most annoying part. After you read the tutorial message, it pops up again on your interface. And it says, hey, Kiefer has something to tell you. And it's the same thing he's already told you. Yeah. So the game keeps telling you have new party chats, when in reality, it's just reminding you literally like every 5 to 10 seconds of what you have to do.
Yeah. And also, like, you go into your menu and you will also just see an objective list. It's like, no matter, like, one of the reasons why I love 7 so much is that it really feels like, in a way, one of the most like open-ended like Dragon Quest games. Mm-hmm. It is part of the joy of it is that sense of exploration. It is literally unlike any other Dragon Quest game. And I think a lot of the like enjoyment of it comes from the fact that like it is deliberately trying to be a puzzle game. So what you have to do and where you have to go is like, as it opens up more, it is really left for you to figure out. And they have essentially just taken out all of the engagement you need to do in the game. They have just removed any kind of thinking a player needs to do to like just play the game, because you always know where to go now. The maps, like the scale of all the redesigned maps, are a lot smaller than they were before. So it's like, it's less, it feels like you're exploring a lot less. It feels like I don't know. I'm probably explaining this horribly, because like the thing is, I don't actually even mind if you like had all these like little like quote unquote quality of life features in your Dragon Quest game, because like there's a lot of stuff added for the HD-2D remakes, and they have like objective markers in there if you want them. But you can turn them off.
Which is what I did.
Well, yeah, that's what I did too. And like if you play 3, 1, and 2 with the objective markers off, like if you enter a certain area and there's a key item you find in it, it'll like, you know, have a little sparkle or something, just so you know, but it doesn't have a big neon sign outside of the cave in which you would find this item saying, please come here. Important story here. You need to go here. And I feel like people are trying to do this like gotcha. It's like, oh, well, I can turn off the objective markers in 3, 2, and 1, and I still see little spots on the map. And it's like, that's not the point. It's like when I'm out in the overworld trying to figure out where to go, I don't want to be told go here. I want to, like, when I play a Dragon Quest game, I want to explore the world. I want to talk to all the NPCs. I want to not know which NPC is more important than all the others, because that immediately takes like
it takes the discovery away. It takes the immersion away. It takes the like,
also
I'm getting to know the world.
And it's like, one of the things I like about a game like this is that it is when you don't have like objective markers, all of your NPCs exist on the same level. There's not like there's no
one feels more important.
Exactly. And like, obviously, like when you figure out the important NPCs, you're like, okay, cool, that's them. But like, you're talking like when games are designed without like objective markers like that, you are engaging with the world and you are being forced to talk to people. And like, that's one of the best parts of it, like an old Dragon Quest game.
And like, to the point of like NPCs being the same, when you go into a town and your objective in that town is to find information about someone you're looking for, going around talking to people is how that would play out in like a story that you had no agency over. Like, that's what those characters would be doing in like a show or something. So by giving you that task, the game is allowing you to participate in the narrative, to play the part of sourcing information. When you have an objective marker, there's no episode, so to speak, right? Like there's no like, there's no scene where you are looking for someone. You just go to the thing and it's like, well, okay, off to the next dungeon, I guess. And it stops being a story. It stops being a role that you're playing. And it just starts being content. It just starts being content to put in your mouth and swallow. Like, that's it. That's all it is. It's just, oh, here's the next step. Oh, and here's the next step. Oh, and here's the next step. That's not the point of like playing it's not a point of playing a video game, but it's not the point of playing Dragon Quest. You know, Dragon Quest is about exploration, and not for nothing, but like people telling you that, oh, well, I can turn off the markers in 1, 2, and 3 and I can still see things on the map. Yeah, but 1, 2, and 3 are very okay. 1, 2, and 3's like whole gameplay progression is very open-ended. Yeah. It's very open, very whatever. And I would and 7 is definitely one is like an Odyssey game where you like go around to places and stuff. But I don't know if people are aware. Maybe they haven't played 7 and they don't realize this, or they didn't notice this about 7. 7 is not as non-linear as people think.
I found
7 is a very linear game. 7 is, yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of PS1 games that people have that association with. Like everyone talks about how linear Final Fantasy X was compared to other games, but not realizing that like 7, 8, and 9 are all pretty linear games. Like, yeah, you get a world map, but you're not completing objectives in any sequence you want. Like, there are very specific places you have to go. It just gives this illusion of being open-ended.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's game design, right? It's the illusion that you can do anything you want, but really you got to go to the next town over. Mm-hmm. But like in 7 especially, it's like but in 7 especially, it's like I unlock an island. I go to the island. I don't get to go anywhere I want. I unlock an island. I go to the past. I'm on the island. Then I go to the present. Where am I going? The one fucking island I just finished like unsealing in the present. So I go there. I collect the pieces. I go back. I unlock another island. I do it all over again. 7 is not this big, open, non-linear experience. 7 is fairly linear. So when you have map markers and objective markers pointing you to on what to do next in Dragon Quest VII, the amount of like already you are cutting down a sense of exploration and wander that like 7 does not have in abundance. Like it's got enough. It's fun. It's not like a bad thing. But like by adding the markers, you are taking away the relatively smaller amount of that's in here compared to other Dragon Quests. And that's why it's a problem in Dragon Quest VII that you can see objective markers and you can't turn them off. Because in Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, if I disable them, but I still see sparkly spots, I don't have it on my map. My world map is fucking ginormous, right? And seeing it come into the corner of my view as I'm traveling is just me finding the place I'm supposed to go. It's not like a huge, like blaring a notification that it's like, yeah, it's over here. Whenever it's over here. It's over here. You can just come over here. Like that's not the same experience. That's not the same thing.
World tiny, like in a way it wasn't before. And I think the biggest thing against this is like, I genuinely, for a remake like this, I don't mind objective markers. Like when I was playing like 1 and 2, there would be occasions where I'd be like, okay, I am truly lost. I'll turn them back on for a second and be like, okay, cool. Turn them back off. I think it's good to have it as an option. So I don't know why they forced it in this one. And like, I remember people saying like, oh, well, like, you know, the thing is they probably started development on this like during the 1 and 2 or 3 remakes. And like, it was just too late to turn them off. And I'm like,
that is not that hard of a thing to do.
I was like, I call bullshit on this. And the reason why I call bullshit is that yesterday for the release, GC was streaming the game. And I, in the RPG site server, saw a like one of our colleagues, Mikhail, just send a Nexus mods page to immediately turn off all of the bullshit the remakes added.
Like even all those Tales, the new Tales remasters, every single one of them lets you turn off objective markers if you want to.
Yeah. It
And,
is
like-
we often talk about like how, hey, making games is harder than people, give, people give shit to game devs, but making games is really difficult. This is one of those things that, like, in your brain, you're like, can't you just do this? Yes. Can't you just like make it so that this does this, and then that way it's an option in the menu? Yes, you can. This is one of those things where it's like, yeah, anybody that knows any amount of like programming knows that you can totally do a true false flag for a fucking texture. It's not hard.
It's really crazy because like last year we had another one of these remakes that did this exact same shit and was also detrimental, and it was the fucking Raito remaster. And
Yes.
it's really crazy how it took them several months to put a patch out that says like, fine guys, sorry, we'll let you like turn off these objective markers in this detective adventure game. Oh, we didn't think about that. And I'm just like, I really don't want to have to sit here and wait several months for Square Enix to like wake up and realize that, hey, forcing this stuff in that was an option in previous games is probably like not a good idea.
It's so
especially
weird with
when
this game because, like, in so many other regards, Square Enix knows that these things are options. Like, even with like the streamlined progression they just added to Final Fantasy VII Remake, like they know that it's an option people might want.
Yeah. And like that's the thing, it's like if you want to like do all that stuff and you want to like add like, like the cheats and things, like go do it. I don't care. Like I'm glad it's there for a certain kind of person. But also I'm seeing it like when reviews dropped for this, and like there were a lot of people mentioning like, hey, the game is like they've streamlined so much that it is actually to its detriment and they've made it too easy. I saw a bunch of people being like, well, thank God I play games on dad mode. I don't want to like this is great for me. And like, oh, stop. You're already selling me so hard on it. I'm already going to buy it now because now I know I don't have to think. I'm really glad I don't have to think anymore. And it's like, I feel like it's, what's the fucking term? GC, I think you mentioned it. It's like helplessness or something. It's like
it's an example. It's not exactly this, but it's sort of like an example of learned helplessness.
It
it's
is
like,
exactly that. Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to engage with the challenge. I don't want to like face any friction. I equate playing video games to passing the time.
Mhm.
I don't play games to play a game with rules and challenges. I play a game to say that I got to the end and checklist it off of my backlog and then move on to the next one. And then I put it on my media thread or I write a review on Letterboxd and then I move on to the next thing, and I don't really like engage with the media. I just sort of I'm just sort of exposed to it, and that's it. That's the sort of mentality that sort of thing happens. Cause it's like, man, if you only got like 2 to 4 hours in the day, why would you want to play a game that doesn't like engage you or challenge you? 1, 2, if you only have a little bit of time in the day, what does that have to do with like anything that's in the game? Like if you only have 2 hours to play the game, who cares if it takes you 4 to 5 months to play that game? Aren't you playing the fucking video game to play the video game, or are you playing the video game to finish it? If you're very busy, why would you even want the game to finish without like doing anything? Right? Like how is that a positive experience for you if your 4 hours are met with just nothingness? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. Like I'm all for like easy modes and stuff if you cannot, like if you're bad at the game or whatever.
Yeah.
But the justification of I don't have time is like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me because it's like, that's not a reason to play it on easy mode. Oh, so I can finish it faster. Why?
But also, why should I have a worse time because I love engaging with art when you're just sitting over there drooling on your controller?
Also
like,
true.
Like I'm like this literally like
what does that have to do with criticizing the game, right? Like what does that have what does you being bad at video games have to do with people looking at a game and going, hey, it sucks that this game is like very, very clearly sort of a watered down version of its original whatever? Like, how is that not valid criticism just because you're a guy who only has half an hour to touch buttons?
it's so like, also like for people being like, oh well, this game always sucked and they fixed it because like before it was like so confusing to do anything. I'm like,
That's not
congratulations on
true.
telling yourself you couldn't figure out a video game made for children.
It's such a dishonest, like, okay, just so people are understanding of where I stand on this. I do think I was excited for this remake for the reason being that I do think 7 had a lot of issues. Like even at the time, people thought 7 had a lot of issues. I thought 7 had when it came out, people thought 7 had issues. When I played it for the channel, 7 had a lot of issues. Thinking back on it now, years after, where you would think I would think on it more fondly, 7 still has a lot of issues. It's one of it, I like it. I like that game a lot, but it is bloated. In fact, the localization is bad. The job system is kind of not really that engaging in the original. It's just filling out your. It's actually got a similar problem to the like a Dragon 7, where it's just like at some point you have so many abilities and like you're really only using like 2 of them. So like you know, like there were things about this remake that if they changed it, I was fine with. I'm fine with them cutting certain islands, because if you look at the islands they cut, it's like it's stupid crap that honestly it really did bog the game down. Like it was stuff that like for real like when I played it, when it came out and people played it, everybody was like, we could do without this. Like nobody was remembering that part fondly. Nobody really saw that as like a thing that needed to, you know, stick around, right?
I think
some of the islands they cut are ones that people really like. Like there's like a time loop island that like was just a really cool story and it's just gone.
I think more people need to admit that like a lot of RPGs are simply too long and like could be cut down. Like The Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games of all time. There are things that game didn't need.
It could be shorter.
Yeah.
Well,
I love Trails games. I wouldn't mind if Trails Beyond the Horizon was 40 hours shorter, honestly.
That is true. But I like the thing you do though is make them optional.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't believe you when you sit there and you say like, oh, we did this in an effort to streamline the game to make sure like no one gets scared that they have to go to islands. Like literally just make them optional. Like
yeah. No, I understand. I just this in this case specifically, the stuff that was cut are no,
I know it's stuff that probably doesn't add anything.
But it's stuff that like actively contradicts stuff in the story. Like it's stuff that it's actually like stuff that actually impedes or obfuscates stuff in the story because it's Yuji Horii. So like one of the islands that they cut is literally just referring to the goddess, which is something that he later takes and does stuff with in Dragon Quest VIII. But in the context of 7, it actually contradicts the world's own mythos that he has established and is like explaining through the course of the game. So like cutting that makes sense. The other island they cut was the style competitions, where every item in the game also had a style rating, and you would just have to equip items to gain enough style points to win the contest. And the rewards you got were not very good. And there was no like actual story there. You would just show up to do that. You would get an item and then you would leave. So like cutting that is like no hard feelings. And then the third island is the time loop one you're talking about. And that one's more like, okay, that one probably should have stayed in, but it's also just a recycled plot line a la Chrono Trigger that he just put back into, like he just like recycled for that vignette. So like, they're smart choices. You are right. Maybe they should be optional. But like the point that I wanted to make is that none of the other shit needed to be changed.
See,
none of like we can argue about the cut content until we're both blue in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no like, I don't think anybody's looking at the other stuff they did and going, oh yeah, no, the game was too hard. Oh no, yeah, like.
See, people are though. That's what's driving me crazy. It's like no,
but that's yeah.
Like nobody. Like the original criticisms of 7 was that it was too hard. Too long, yes.
No.
But not too hard.
Nobody was like, oh man, I really wish the game would tell me before I do it what abilities are super effective against enemies. Like, nobody ever said that.
Yeah,
Nobody, that was never an issue.
Most of the party-based Dragon Quests are not that difficult. Like, they're fairly middle of the road difficult. Dragon Quest 1 can be tough because you have one character, but
also that 2 remake kicks your fucking ass, and I loved it.
There's also a lot of ways to break it. Like 2 remake for me personally felt pretty like easy, but again, I'm a sicko.
You're a hardcore gamer.
I've been playing this series for a long time, but also like the new abilities that are in that game or in that trilogy are like really busted. And like that's another criticism you could leverage at those remakes, but like those remakes make those things interesting to the point where it's like, even if I do those exploits, like it's still kind of hard to do certain things, and bosses are kind of tough too. So like there's like a better balance there than in this 7 remake, where I'm just like, I feel like the 3DS was a more appropriate version of like someone's take on Dragon Quest VII PS1, where it's like, okay, the game is a puzzle game, but yes, maybe that opening section is a little bit too long for modern audiences, so we'll make that opening puzzle section shorter, right? But then like in this, it's granted really neat puzzle, brand new puzzle too. I'll give it credit for that. But then it's like, oh, here's a forced encounter because you're an iPad baby, and if you're not like in a battle within the first 15 minutes of a Dragon Quest game, you're gonna turn it off. It's like, why? Only to have a battle like 10 minutes later, and then it's like, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was like, well, we know why. And it's the interview where the director was like, yeah, I bounced off of that when I was younger. I didn't like it. And like, and sure, like, I'm sure there's nuance in it, and he maybe grew an appreciation of it. But I'm sorry, I don't want to believe that when everything about this screams, this is for people who don't like Dragon Quest VII. And if you make your remake like that, I'm sorry.
It's gonna feel like shit.
It's reactionary. Like,
yeah.
And I need to make it clear. I'm playing this, and I'm not on PC like GC is, bars, but like, there are moments like I'm not able to mod it like to make it better. Like, are you going to play the whole game without the objective markers?
So far, I'm going to keep all of those mods installed, unless it becomes an issue later. I did have to disable the one. Oh, did you mention already that party members get revived after every battle?
I forgot to. Yes, so party members get revived after every battle, which is
because
really
churches don't revive people anymore.
It's a really weird change, and the funny thing about that is, and it's why I am willing to be a bit more cynical about the cut content. And I know this is an overreaction, but so when people went in like day one and modded out characters getting revived on battle, like after battles, you find out that they didn't even model the like coffins of the original game. And you know, because when your characters die in the original, it does the Dragon Quest thing, and like that you carry the coffins around behind you, and then you go to churches, and then that's how you revive your characters. You spend a bit of a fee because actions have consequences. So it's really funny if you mod that out, your party members still walk behind you, and you can't go revive them at churches. So,
and that's another one of those things that feel like it should have been an option. Like, there's a reason that Fire Emblem kept permadeath in the newer games.
There's a reason Dragon Quest XI has the draconian options.
Yeah.
And before we get too far from it, I do want to shout out the mod author that did those mods, because they are actually a very prolific mod creator for the Dragon Quest games on PC. Username is Mike9K1 on Nexus Mods. They've basically been making mods for like everything since like Dragon Quest 11, probably like other stuff too, but it's mostly just Dragon Quest. They did stuff for the remakes, they did stuff for 11S, they did stuff for 10. They have a mod for Dragon Quest 4, which is bizarre. So like that's the guy that like day one. Probably made it using files from the demo, to be honest, at the speed that he was going at. Where like now you can go use his mods for Reimagined and like get a more traditional Dragon Quest VII experience out of it, with the exception of the mod that doesn't revive characters, because you're gonna need a revive spell or another item before that mod should probably be installed. But yeah, it's frustrating.
Because you look at it and you go, oh, the art team killed it.
Yeah. If the art,
like, my only complaint is that all the maps are too small now. Sorry to cut you off.
The diorama stuff works so well for this game. It's not even funny. And the like handmade dolls that they scanned in, I mean, the aesthetic is just delightful in every way.
Yes, absolutely. I really want I was playing 7 and I was like, people were like, "Oh, do you think they'll make another Dragon Quest game in this style?" And I thought about it and I said, the only one that they could make in this style that I feel would work really well is 9. If they remade 9 in this aesthetic, it would work really well. For 8, they would probably just use the engine for 11, their version of Unreal for 11. And then for 4, 5, and 6, I already have a pretty good idea that they're going to do the HD-2D stuff. But it 9 would look great.
Interesting to see 5 in this style.
5's a good one if they do like a 5 reimagined. But then are you ready for an HD-2D 5 remake and then also a 5 reimagined where they take all the teeth out?
Well, see, here's I'm thinking like worst case scenario now, where like we don't get the HD-2D of 4, 5, and 6, and we just get their reimagined for 5.
I'd be very sad because I would not want this for 5, because 5, you want to talk about Dragon Quest games that are just like across the board, just like really not treating like its player like it's an idiot. That's 5.
How would you feel about a new Dragon Quest game in this style? Not like 12, but like a spin-off.
Oh, yeah. I would even take a 13 in this style. 12's not going to be like this, most likely, but I'll take 13 like this.
I just wonder if they did a new game like this, would it be kind of like Final Fantasy did the 4 Heroes of Light, right? And it was a very watered down, much more simplistic experience. I wonder if they did a new game in this style, if they would keep it very streamlined like this. But in the case of doing something new, it might not feel as egregious as it does here.
Yeah, because I feel like the perspective of like the watered downness of its gameplay stuff is literally just like Cullen was saying, it's just the perspective of the guy leading the project going, "Oh yeah, 7, huh? What a rough one."
Right, guys.
So I think a new one in this style, number one, he probably wouldn't have that perspective, and he would just make a video game, and he wouldn't be like trying to quote unquote fix an old one. So I don't think it would have those problems. If it did, then you know, I'd be able to just wipe my hands of anything that director or whoever was in charge calling the shots would do that. If it's Yuji Horii, then Grandpa's got to retire. Grandpa's got to go to sleep.
We're almost there.
Grandpa's got to go on vacation to Hawaii and just go infinite Hawaii forever.
He used to hang out with Sakaguchi in Hawaii.
Oh, sick. Okay. Mike 9K1 just put out a mod for no party chat prompts. Give me that.
Oh my god.
Because I think 7 Reimagined had a different director, but I think the same producer worked on 7 and 1-2 HD remake.
So it's probably reasonable if that's correct. Then it's probably reasonable to assume that it is sort of the case where the director actually has a lot more decision making power, where the producer is more of like a hands off, like, what do you need? Okay, I'll get it for you. You know, sort of role. Which again, it goes back to my biggest gripe about the game industry, where it's like game studios should be more transparent about who's doing what on a project and why and how involved they are, so that people have a better idea of like why something ended up the way it did.
It's so vague too. Like, producers play so many different roles even within the same company. Like, Final Fantasy 16, Yoshida was the producer, but he like made so many of the calls on that game, you know?
Yeah. And the guy that directed it is the Saga guy,
Yeah.
one of the Saga guys.
Yeah, and the
And it's
Last
like,
Remnant
I don't
guy.
feel
Like it.
Saga. Huh?
It's literally the
He's the
last remnant guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
What a
I
game,
don't
man.
get any of this from that.
Last Remnant was a hell of a game.
Oh, Hayes. Oh, you're new to me, but that's like one of my favorite games. That's one of my top 5 games of all time.
That's such a
Unironically.
I love that game. I would not objectively call it a great game, but it's a fascinating game.
No, it is not an amazing game. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
It does genuinely have a great combat system, though. I love the combat in that game.
And you don't feel any of that in 16.
Yeah.
So like, again, it's always ambiguous.
Yeah, and he
it's
didn't
like,
do any interviews either.
No. And that's another thing. It's like, I want to know. I want to know more about the development process of these things, because it's like, how am I supposed to get excited when a guy that makes something that I like, who is in charge of a specific thing, is on a project? Like, I don't know if that guy has control over that aspect of the project, because I don't know how things are getting made and who's producing. If I knew producers better, right, then I could be like, oh, this guy's on this. Okay, I don't want to fucking whatever. But then that would also be useful for game companies, because they could go, okay, people don't like our fan base, our audience does not like the things you do consistently enough, where we are not going to put you on this project. And yeah, that's unfortunate for that guy, but like, that's what you should be doing. You should be moving people around and putting people in positions that make good decisions, that are not just people pleasing, but like, healthy for the project and stuff like that. And like, you want your best foot forward. So that's what you do. That's what you should do.
It's so interesting, the associations people have. Cause I remember like when they announced the Tactics, Evil East Chronicles, there's like, oh, we're remaking Final Fantasy Tactics. Everyone was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then it was like, oh, Yosomi Matsuno's on it. And everyone was like, oh, okay, great. I'm there.
Yeah.
That's a really good remaster.
Yeah.
I got to get through more of it. But yeah, just the weird dichotomy of remakes. And it's so, I feel like this conversation is like, so like, I think more people should be talking about this, if only because it's like, this is a rare instance where you have 2 sets of remakes in the same series, sharing a lot of the same people working on it with very different approaches, and they are being received in very different ways. And I think that's worth examination. I think that's worth like a critic going in and sort of like pulling apart like the stuff and doing the legwork to kind of like figure out like, okay, like here's like the perspective these people went in, here's what they did, here's what they did, and like here's the fan reaction and the audience reception and the critic reception, and like, what can we learn from this? As an industry, like what can we learn from this when it comes to designing this specific kinds of projects, these remakes? I'm fascinated by it. I kind of want to do a video that does that, but it'll be long time from now. Before that
but you
gets
did just
done.
play like 4 Dragon Quest remakes, so it's like, yeah, that shit's fresh.
Yeah.
But yeah, like obviously, like if you like the new Dragon Quest remake, you're not like a terrible person who's going to hell. But I think it's like when the Dragon Quest remake that comes out literally months before this has none of these problems. Like, I feel like even if it doesn't affect you, you should still be like, yeah, that sucks for all those other people.
Yeah, and
now,
I do think that
I'm gonna go drool on my controller a little bit.
I still think like these would have been issues, but I don't think they would have felt quite as bad if this game hadn't come out like 6 months after 1-2.
Yeah.
The timing was just so close.
Yeah. Yep. And again, just, if you don't have issue with the changes in the 7 remake, again, I gotta insist that it's like, you can be critical about it and be like, yeah, that is like this does water down a lot of the original experience, and like, you can still enjoy the game, And also, like, you know, you don't have to respond to people who don't like it on the internet. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to be like, oh, actually, this is totally fine because XYZ reason. And it's like, that's just like, if you don't like the criticism, you don't have to interact with the criticism. I would like it if you did and did so like in good faith. But like, if you don't want to, if you don't like it, you don't have to look at it. You can just scroll past it. It's fine. Like,
just enjoy the game.
No one criticizing these games is ever going to like prevent a future one from coming out. It's like we've done this whole thing 1,000 times where it's like like criticism, good valued criticism has never like gotten in the way of the of further production of a video game or like, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter what anybody says on the internet. When you go play the video game, their tweets aren't popping up on the screen as you play it. Like you can just play the game. But if you play the game and you do a thing that reminds you of a criticism someone made, okay? And it's like, fuck, you know, maybe that criticism is valuable. Maybe you know, keep that in your pocket. Maybe you should investigate that, interrogate why it makes you mad that something in the game reminded you of a criticism and it like almost validates it. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, moving on. Be curious. Stay curious. Think curiously of the things you interact with.
I'm really wondering though, like if they are going to bother patching it or if they're just going to be stubborn about it. Because I'll be honest, the second the demo hit and people were already like saying this stuff, I would have been like, oh, hey guys, let's make it so that the final version doesn't have this.
Let us put out an announcement that says, hey, this will not be in the launch of the game. However, we are planning on putting out a patch, you know, a week or two out.
Fuck it. I'll be honest, man. Like the fact that this got handled day one. No, this could have been on there in launch. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It could have been day one. Mm-hmm. Like this is we're blessed with like, it's convenient that we know, like, I know some level of programming, you know way more programming than I do, and we're both looking at like what it would take and like just kind of ballpark estimating it. And it's like, how many people work at Armor Project? Like at least 50.
Just let me into the studio like for a day.
I'll
track it down. I'll make it so that like the PNG gets turned off. Like
Mike 9K1 did this in 30 minutes in a cave with a box full of scraps.
Like, come on. It's like I'm on my hands and knees and I'm begging. I'm like, I will not complain about all these annoying extra mechanical things. Just let me turn the objective markers off. That's all. I could like if the objective
was
markers
bothering you more than anything else.
Oh, I was getting pissed. I was like, like GC didn't play the demo, but I did, and I was just like, I can't wait for this demo. I'm like, so because like when this got announced, we were so excited. Like, I'm
was very
like
excited.
Dragon Quest VII is one of my favorites. And I was so thrilled. Yeah, they kept talking about it kind of vaguely and weirdly about all the cut content and stuff. But I was like, no, I trust the vision. Don't worry. Oh my God, look, new key for content. Oh my God, I trust the vision. I'm so trusting of the vision right now. Yeah, yippee, yippee. And then I was like, I played the demo and I'm like, why did I walk outside and have 3 objective markers for every single explorable place
on the map?
What do you oh, okay, there's a setting to let you turn objective markers off. Oh, what's the fine print on the map? What?
Oh, also disabling the HUD, because there's an option to disable the HUD. Disabling the HUD does not disable the quest objective markers.
Nope.
I mean, those
so you can disable every HUD element except those.
Those HD-2D remakes were so good, and they got better with every one. That it was hard to not like trust the vision in a way. It's like Dragon Quest III, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good remake. And then 1, it was like, this is an even better remake. And you get to 2 and you're like, this is just one of the best remakes I've ever seen in my life.
Games of all time.
Yeah.
This is just like a historic like touchstone
So
moment.
I mean, theoretically, you would think like 7's in development at the same time as these. They would theoretically have the same ethos, but it did not turn out that way.
What is it that like insider knowledge always says, where it's like, it's surprising how little it seems that like one part of the studio is speaking to the other. Like it's weird that there's like almost no communication between like groups of people working on directly related things.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was with World and Rise, right? Where it was like they didn't like there was no interaction, which is why Wilds came out the way it did. And it's like, oh, why not? Are y'all just like not having like a meeting and just like doing like a workshop where everybody's just kind of talking to each other about what they're doing with each other, like with their projects? I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird.
I just don't know why. If you thought like, oh yeah, the objective markers, we can let you turn them off only on the map. Like what? How did you, who came up with that? It's the most useless option ever. Like,
watch, it's gonna be Yuji Horii.
Fuck, Papa Peepaw needs to go.
Just wait until
go to bed.
Horii starts using chatbots. I don't know, really.
I know.
That
like, guy's he's so fucking cooked.
I'm just like, I just don't get like but like, no, really, what good does it to have them off your map if they are plastered on the fucking screen? Like, who is saying, oh yeah, no, but I don't want to see it on my map. That's more adventurous.
I showed my friend that screenshot you took. I showed my friend the screenshot you took of the 3, and they went, I said, this is a real thing that can happen. And I added, this is the whole map, by the way. Like, that's as big as the map is. Like you have your 3 markers, but like there's those are the only places you can go. and they were like, I am very distraught. I forget exactly what they said, but it was something to the effect of like I don't know how to process this. Oh, here we go.
I like going into the ship at the beginning of the game, and the character who's supposed to be hiding out and might have honestly blended into the background pretty well in this version of the game, is now just, you get a big, ugly, stupid objective marker immediately saying, look, go here. Don't talk to anybody. Go here. I think if you play the game this way and only mainline it, and you play it in like, if you finish the game in like 30 hours or whatever, because you're not actually like talking, I'm gonna like take your Switch 2 away from you. You don't get to play video games anymore. I'm sorry. I'm making the decree. But like literally, just put a patch out. Like I'm sorry if this isn't in the game in a month. I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna say really mean things about you guys on the internet.
I want to say it's like, you can play a video game however you want. No. I fully endorse your experience is valid no matter how far you played it or how long. However, okay, I do think there is room for me to think that you may have done yourself a disservice by, lowering your standards. That's what you are entitled, and I fully encourage you to enjoy games the way you want to enjoy them, but I equally encourage you to raise your standards and to value that experience beyond just being able to experience it. I encourage you to have, a more active participation in the thing you are engaging with.
You're such an earnest, selfless person, and I genuinely appreciate that about you. The way I look at this, I'm like, look, if you want to eat a little Ziploc baggie of shit for lunch, like, you know what? I'll let you do it. You probably love that. But if I'm eating lunch and you sit next to me and you open your bag of shit and it smells so bad that I can't enjoy my lunch, I'm going to tell you to leave. I'm going to say, get out. I'm like, I love options. People should be allowed to eat shit. They should be able to like enthusiastically just go shit for shit day after day and live their life how they want to exactly. But I have standards, and if my experience is worsened because the director loves eating shit as well.
This is what happened. You went to a nice salad place
Oh
You
yeah, I love
ordered a salad.
Mm-hmm.
You and somebody else ordered a salad. You sat down at the same, like one of those communal tables.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of salad, they brought out 2 shit burgers. And you went, this is not what I ordered. But the other person went, oh boy, a shit burger.
And then the fucking like the infinite wealth, that like battle theme that sounds like a bunch of clouds. Yeah, Barracuda. And I realized that
wait, but I like that song. No, I like Barracuda.
No, it's the shitburger anthem.
It's like the dumbest EDM thing ever, and it totally reeks of Coachella. It's great.
Square Enix, it's all in good fun. Insecure people who hate Dragon Quest but are loving this game. It's all in good fun. Don't worry. I don't think you eat poo poo pee pee for real.
Do better, Square Enix.
But also, we should have higher standards.
Fund Harvestella 2, please.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's okay to like this game, but it is a $60 remake that has less to do and less going on and less options than the $40 remake on the 3DS.
Also, give the Saga folks more of a budget than like a pack of like peppermint gum.
I don't know. You're right. I'm almost like
Romancing Saga 2.
I'm almost like the Saga team finds really creative ways to do stuff with a low budget.
Yeah.
So
and they,
I mean, realistically, like yes, they deserve more money, but like they find fun ways to get around budget. So I'll give them that.
GC, have you played Romancing Saga 2 Remake yet?
No, I played Emerald Beyond, and I was like, this is awesome, and I wish whoever made this had more money, because it's like, it's not even bad from like, it doesn't even look bad or feel bad. I just know, like, I can see the price tag on the screen. Like you gave me one of the coolest pairs of shoes ever, but I can see that it's $4.99, and I'm just imagining how even better the pair of shoes would be if you added like like, I'm not even asking for like 3 zeros, just 1 0 at the end of the fucking price tag.
GC, for your homework, I task you play the Romancing Saga 2 remake demo, or the game. I don't know. No. GC, that is GC. Stop quiet. No crying in baseball. GC,
a task. I have been given a task.
GC, no crying in baseball. I am telling you this because, and I do not exaggerate, this is one of the best games Square Enix has put out in the last 10 years.
Yeah. In Romancing Saga 2, you like skip generations to new rulers, and one of your rulers can go to the ocean and fall in love with a mermaid and just decide to like live with the mermaid, and then you skip a generation because he just lives the rest of his life with a mermaid. It's great.
Also, you could just go out. You could just go. It is completely open-ended.
Is it like a Saga game where there's like a ton of missable stuff, or like you can just miss the window to do stuff if you're just not paying attention?
Not this one.
Not exactly.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure there's a couple things, but it's like it is
not an issue for me. Just I have to like make sure I'm using the right persona when I engage with the activity.
It's no, I don't think you need to worry about that on this one. Like if you start a quest and then you have like your generation, like, because that's the thing, the generation skips just kind of happen. When they happen is like calculated like under the hood, and it does not tell you. So you could finish like a small part of a quest, and then immediately it's like 120 years later.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just have to like a new emperor.
Sometimes quests will carry over between rulers as well.
Yeah. But yeah, then you just finish the quest with your other ruler. It's great.
I'm okay with missing stuff, but like I know that the more traditional Saga experience is like thing popped up on map. Did you go do other thing? Did you take too long doing other thing? Well, that other thing's gone now. Whoops, no time to think about that. Here's other thing. Whoops, never mind that. Here's a beach episode. Well, gotta cut this beach episode short. You gotta go do groceries, like, which is fun. But like I gotta know what I'm getting into, because what was it? What was the one you made me play on stream? Was it Minstrel Song, where I played as the princess or the lady at the start?
No, Scarlet Grace.
Scarlet Grace, yeah, because that one was really fun, but it was very chaotic because I didn't understand a lot of the That's actually why I like Emerald Beyond so much, because it has that, but it's more like once you pick a thing, like the stage advances, right? Like the time advances, but it waits for you to make a decision. And I quite like that more. It's kind of like your problem with the social systems in like Persona and stuff, like the calendar systems in games where like you kind of like bounce off of those because like, or like you get anxiety because you're like, what the fuck do I do? Oh my god, I have a limited time. Like I have the inverse where it's like if it's turn based elements like that, then I'm okay with it. If it's like as you go, you just make your decisions. But if it's almost like real time, like in the way Scarlet Grace does it, I freak out and I start like panicking. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't think Romancing Saga 2 is quite as bad as like
oh
the
no, yeah,
newer
no.
Saga games.
I've seen some stuff and like you're not the first people to tell me to play it. Like pretty much all my friends are like, GC, this game is like really good. You would like it. So yeah, it's also got the Last Remnant combat in it as well, right? It's got that saga stuff where it's like, like
Yeah.
the chain system, whatever it's called.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll play that. I'll play that.
And it looks
I think you would love that
great
game.
too. Like this visual style is great.
Oh yeah, it reminds me of Visions of Mana, the remakes of those.
It's like a
or
little
the
more
new ones of
polished
those.
version of that.
Yeah. What was the one that you just played recently, Cullen? You probably played it too, Hayes. I don't know if you reviewed that one, but the one with the guy and the lady and the other
The
guy
new
and
Mana
the,
game?
the
Is that
other
not
lady. The new Mana one. Yeah. The
the
one that was
Visions of
like
Mana.
gorgeous. That's Vision.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Trials
Okay.
of Mana was the remake.
And it's the Trials
Visions-
of Mana team that did the Romancing Saga 2 remake.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay. I've connected dots now. Oh, so good to have that connected. But yeah, besides the remakes and discussions of like, that was a really good discussion around remakes and shit. Okay. I'm very happy with that. Yeah. What has anybody else been doing? Well, I guess that's me and Cullen, right? Hayes, what have you been up to?
Yeah, we can talk about this. Cullen and I figured out. I think I've been playing Romeo's a Dead Man,
I have as well.
which is
By the time this episode comes out, embargo will have lifted and you will be seeing reviews. Probably from me and Hayes, but
yeah,
if you don't read those,
which
we
I
will
like.
talk about
I
it
like
here.
it a lot. It is very Suda in that it is like pretty unlike anything else I've ever played, and there are parts of it that I'm like, I don't love this part, but overall I very much like it, and it goes some really crazy places, like really unexpected places.
I caught up to where you were when we last messaged about it.
So you saw the part that I
I'm-
was talking about then.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are both at the final dungeon of the game as of recording this. I am a really big Grasshopper Manufacturer fan. So I think Suda is one of the only true auteurs in this entire industry, and one of the reasons why he kind of I'm willing and comfortable to say that about him is because he is a guy that loves uplifting the people, the younger talent in his studio, and letting them express themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, I don't even think Suda directed this one. Like, he's very clearly heavily involved.
Yeah, I know
think
he wrote the scenario. I know that.
He's creative director as well.
Yeah.
But this feels like a game where, and in a similar way to like Travis Strikes Again and No More Heroes 3 did, where they kind of just got a lot of artists and they were like, hey, go crazy.
Yeah, what do you want to make? We'll put it in.
Yeah, and it is just so like it. It's funny you were talking about like most anticipated games of the year earlier, and I'm like, oh no, my year peaked. Because like, yeah, if I were to be like, as a video game, I have some objective criticisms, whatever. There's a couple things that aren't like great, in like terms of game design, but I don't care because I'm playing this game and I am having such an amazing time. This is
one thing I think is really interesting too is like narratively, it's not quite as like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it doesn't spell things out as much as Grasshopper's other games, which I know is kind of a weird thing to say because like Grasshopper games have a lot of weird different narrative techniques, but there's a lot of like contextual stuff in Romeo is a Dead Man that you kind of have to just piece together. And it's very like it's almost like a non-linear kind of story where you're getting notes.
Oh, very much.
Seeing these different things, and like it all starts to come together more near the end. There's definitely a section of this game where you're just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I don't understand what's going on.
I'm at the final dungeon and I'm still at that point.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get like it is.
I can see the threads starting to come together more now.
But I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm having a great time. I am taking so much information in and I don't know how it connects, but I'm like, I'm just here for the ride. And you know what? That's a great way to put it because it reminds me of how like the storytelling works in like The Silver Case.
Yeah.
Or Flower, Sun, and Rain. Not as much like No More Heroes, for example.
I was a little unsure of the combat for a while, but I think I landed on that I really like the combat because it's a system that very much is like what you make of it. Like the complexity of the combat really comes down to how complex you want it to be. Like how much you use the bastards that you equip, which are like this.
Oh yeah, you have ads in this game.
Pokemon that you summon almost.
Yeah, like you've got SMT Pokemon you grow on your home base ship, and you summon them in battle as your own ads.
Yeah,
like I don't know what your bastards combination was, but where I landed on was I've got a guy that shoots a weak point.
Yeah, the flower weak enemies. Point. Yeah,
the flower creates new weak point flowers, and like so, like basically on every enemy, there's a couple like flowers, like flower buds on them, and if you shoot them with your gun, it'll like slowly open up more, and if like you do enough damage to them, they explode and they cause a lot of damage. And like, but like, enemies have a finite amount of them, especially bosses. So you can like have a guy to just like put up a new one and then like, aim for that, get more damage in. I've got a guy that electrocutes. I've got a health guy.
The electrocution guy is great. Yeah. There's some crazy ones. That spins. I have one that like you place him and he shoots a beam at Romeo. So like you run away from him and you get this giant beam that can hit enemies in between. But the beam is so big that it's good, but also like I can't see what the fuck's happening when I use it because the beam is so big. So I just kind of have to like get a bunch of enemies in between us and just kind of like figure it out for a minute. I have another one too that shoots a giant bowling ball, and if you hit at least 5 enemies, it explodes.
What's great about this is that I have not seen any of those in my game because the nature of the bastards is you find the seeds for them that drop from enemies or you find in like chests or whatever. And then you bring them back to your base. You get them like, looked at, and then you plant them and then, you grow it and then you just get your result. So there's a sense of randomness to it that makes your like fighting style or build almost entirely unique to yourself. And then you could also fuse them to get even like new ones. It's like, it's not like insanely in depth, but it's like, it adds an extra layer to the combat system because like it's already based off of like No More Heroes 3, which does feel really good, but like you play that game and at a certain point you're like, I've seen and done everything.
Yeah.
Like my kit cannot get any better, but Romeo doesn't have that problem. This takes an interesting
approach too, because like you have 8 different weapons, but if you want, you can straight up unlock all 8 different weapons at the beginning of the game and use them the entire time.
Yep.
Or you can kind of like meter them out.
That's what
I really love the leveling up system where you go through like the little Pac-Man maze and get these little icons that power up Romeo, and they'll give you like
you use your souls,
extra blood gauges to use your yeah. It's such a cool little level up system.
I would say that if you're incapable of having fun, you might not enjoy this because you'd be like, why'd they do that? Why couldn't I just put my souls into my guy and then like level up his stats? Why do I have to go to the Pac-Man maze?
I just want to make a number go
Oh,
up.
thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I get to go to the Pac-Man maze again. And then like I get to plot out my course to like maximize the amount of souls I'm pumping into this.
Or you can just reset it if you want and try a different route.
Yeah. I've almost maxed that out. I forget if what you said you were playing on. I think we're both playing on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah. Well, I think there might be I don't know yet. I think there's an unlockable
there might be one more
because there's another slot. But yeah, the hardest that's available at the start.
Yeah, but like, yeah, and
but I also feel like
I might.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. My internet I think was kind of dipping a little bit. I might even run through the game on normal mode just to see how different it is, because the hard difficulty is really finely tuned to have a genuine challenge that I am absolutely loving. Like I'm spending at points up to an hour on like boss attempts.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, but not in a way that's like frustrating. Boring. I would say boring or frustrating. I think the boss battles are phenomenal in this game. I think they're each like
there's a couple
well designed
like
and
things that's like, oh, that different. Was bullshit, but
yeah, there is. Yeah, but they all have unique songs too. I like the soundtrack's really great, but I also think the like progression is really smartly tuned, where it feels like I'm almost at the end, right? And like I've gotten almost all of the progression elements, but it was doled out in a way that felt satisfying. Like a lot of times you'll get to the end of a game and you're like, well, I still have 15 skills to unlock and I'm at the final boss or something, you know? Like I think the way this meters out your new elements and your weapons and your stat boosts and stuff, I think it's tuned it really well.
Yeah, I have been waiting for this kind of like comeback for Grasshopper for a really long time. Travis Strikes Again is one of my favorite games of all time, and I like No More Heroes 3, but I feel like they kind of like Travis Strikes Again is them kind of going like, guys, we're so back. We're going to make games that are thoughtful and like fun from here on. And No More Heroes 3 was kind of just like fun, but it did feel underbaked. This just feels like the game I wanted No More Heroes 3 to be, also more. And you can tell how excited they are to like break free of like the shackles from previous IPs that they're dealing with and just make something that is so fun and original.
Yeah, I do think I'm interested to see reviews and reception, because I do think we're going to see certain people that this just doesn't gel with, or who feel like there's nothing that happens in the game. I think that's going to be a big complaint of the story. And like kind of just like the pacing. The pacing is a little weird because there are big parts of the game that just don't really feel like you're moving a big story along. But I also don't think that's necessarily the point of this game. And I just wonder and I think a lot of Grasshopper games are like that, right? Like they really hit with some people and they really don't hit with other people. Even No More Heroes. No More Heroes 1 was that way.
Yep. I feel like if you're a Grasshopper fan, though, like you check it out. I think it is literally like, despite seeing all of the things it's inspired from, it is like nothing else I think you will play. Like it has almost Souls-like levels, but you approach them in a very non-Souls-like way.
I didn't put this. I have an interview with Suda that went up last week. I didn't put this in the interview, but I talked to him about Gundam at the end. And we talked about Char's counterattack, and then he was like, "Did you watch G-Cux?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I really like G-Cux." And he was like, I liked it too. And then he was like, "There's two parts."
No.
He said, "There's two parts of this game. There's two parts of this game that's really inspired by G-Cux." And I was like,
"No,
really? I haven't figured out quite what he was talking about yet." But yeah.
Fuck, never mind. The game's cooked. It's over.
No.
fucking
Maybe he liked
over.
something about. That doesn't mean he liked all of it.
Yeah.
No, it's Suda's washed. I'm sorry, Suda. We disagree on Gundam. One Gundam opinion, and now we can't be friends anymore.
It was more of like he liked things about G-Cux that inspired him.
I know.
But he still said like Tomino Gundam is like peak Gundam for him, which is why he said Char's
Yeah, that's why he's my guy.
Yeah.
Like you don't like I look No More Hero 3 has a lot of like small issues that really add up over time.
Yeah.
But my man Suda drops. Yeah, well, my man Suda drops both like shout outs to Charge Counterattack and Space Runaway Ideon Be Invoked as things that help you recover from trauma. And so he will always be my guy.
Mm-hmm. Also, like,
my goodness.
I guess maybe like if you have like relationship trauma, maybe be a little aware of that going into Romeo's a Dead Man.
Trigger warning.
Oh, there's some real toxic stuff in this, and I'm
toxic
like,
relationship stuff. So like, just be aware of that going in, I guess.
It's very raw. I'm really excited to finish off Romeo. I do find it like it's a bit hard for us to talk too much about it, like pull anything really interesting out of the story, because I think this will be something that really lives or dies on where it's going. Like the journey is amazing, but
my opinion will shift significantly based on the ending. I will say that.
Yeah. It's like No More Heroes 3 for me, where it's like I had a really fun time with this, and then the ending was underwhelming and it kind of brought it down. Whereas like this, I'm like, if you pull this ending off, I could be saying, screaming from the streets even, this is the best Grasshopper game they've ever made.
I 100% agree.
All right. But yeah, let us start some questions. Okay. So I have a couple essays from Cause to read out because Cause can't make it. So I'm going to start. Well, let's see. Question. Our first question comes from Adam Ska. How difficult do you find conveying the quality of a game's music / soundtrack? From my experience in both professional and amateur reviews and critiques, music is generally the aspects that's given the least amount of description aside from the emotions they invoke and potential references to past works. And how do you think people improve in that aspect if possible? Should I read Cause's answer first?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I'm intended to read both big messages. I see like a C at the end of the first one, and I don't know if that's implying continued.
Where is it posted?
In our server. In general, scroll
up. Okay. Yes, I think. Yes, you should read all of that.
Okay. Whew. All right. Now, GC, put like some like fancy music in the background of this. Some classical music, because I'm gonna
16 hours of penis music extended. Got it.
Yep, exactly. This is from Cause's own mouth. Historically, music has never been given much attention in game reviews. I do remember, however, when I used to read Game Informer back in the O's, there was a small section in reviews carved out for audio design and music, so I've always been very conscious of it. The first genre I actively engaged with was survival horror, that being Resident Evil Remakes, Silent Hill 4: The Room, and Fatal Frame 2. While those games don't necessarily have the traditional idea of music in them, that audio component is still present and adds to the overall atmosphere of the game. In the case of specific action games, let's say Devil May Cry 3, historically, Hideki Kamiya-led games have always had an OST with lyrics that inform you about the character, be it their motivations, histories, and outlook on the events happening in the game. So music in games can also be used to tell stories in a more conventional way, as opposed to lending itself to the atmosphere or general tone of a room, scene, or region as mentioned in the question. Acknowledging these aspects of how music works in tandem with games would be a start, because I feel like, in general, there isn't enough conversation about it to begin with. Generally, it's, is the song good or bad? And less, what does this lend to the moment? What does this say about the character? One of my favorite pieces of game music is actually from Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2. Oh, I gotta become Cullen again for a second so I can. Yep.
Oh, and before you continue, just to add a really good example of this, of like, what does this music lend to the moment? And I fucking hate to say it because it's really, as music, it's bad. But I have heard people defend the soundtrack to Dragon Guard for being that kind of soundtrack where it's like, it's a bad song, but it does lend to the moments that the music is playing, like to those moments that it's playing in. And that should, and I will acquiesce that I do believe that should be the way we sort of look at video game music. However, I will still insist that you can do both. You can lend to the moment and also be like good music. Although you should definitely also do like really jarring, ugly music when the situation calls for it. Don't just try to make a really nice song in a scary moment, etc., etc. But that goes into sound design and I think strays from the conversation around music specifically. But anyway, go ahead. Continue the Cosmo's answer.
No, Hayes, you chime in.
Yeah, I guess the thing I would think of in that regard is like even a smaller example is like the Sonic the Hedgehog drowning music, right? Like that's not music that I would want to listen to at any point when I'm just relaxing. I wouldn't go listen to that music outside of the game. But it does fit.
You don't feel
in
like
the moment.
You don't want to like. You don't want to be sitting in your house and
I don't
and
think
feeling
that would
like
do good.
Someone is
No.
approaching you at an accelerated rate.
That would not help my anxiety in any way, I think.
You got to put it in a playlist and you got to shuffle it and then just randomly
so it randomly pops up in the middle.
Living room.
Oh, that's awful.
Put that on while you're like jogging.
That might work. Or
Like at the
working
park.
out or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would actually work for like a sprint.
Yeah.
All right, let me channel Cosmo again. And it's the track for Satan. I believe it's Satan's Grand Battle, which has a lot of Latin in it. That is specifically written around the story itself and its central characters, Gabriel, Satan, and God. So it leans into the culture Mercury's theme draws from, Spanish Catholicism, by utilizing language and figures associated with the Catholic Church, which is kind of a first for Castlevania, I think. I know it's always had religious components, but the idea of Satan, God, hell, and heaven aren't as present in the Japanese developed entries. You could also talk about Mick Gordon's contributions to metal through Doom's 2016 OST and its impractical instruments and effects on how his music was intentionally made to evoke the tactile feeling of the gun you're using. Basically, there's a lot to get into with music, and I believe it could be discussed more. But at the end of the day, reviews have word counts, and that's what a lot of us who do reviews for games have to abide by. So you can't wax poetic about Mick Gordon using a chainsaw to emulate a guitar riff for Doom 2016, the harrowing industrial noise of Silent Hill 3, or how, I'm sorry, the good ending track of Far Cry 3 felt more cinematic by comparison to... That's really rude to say to Kazuma. You should apologize to Kazuma.
Far Cry 3 mentioned on an episode. Bing!
It felt more cinematic by comparison to other video game music at the time, since Brian Tyler is a film composer first and foremost. Thank you, Cullen. ... Oh god, I'm back. I like when music good. That's my contribution to that question.
I think I do want to answer the first part of the question, which is how difficult do you find conveying the quality of a game's music and soundtrack, which is to say very, because the problem is, and I think a lot of from the content creation perspective, a lot of content creators like know a lot about a lot of different kinds of things, but like a huge blind spot for a lot of them I've found is like music. Like very few people critically think about music. I feel like of all kinds of media, like music criticism is probably the smallest in terms of like how many people are doing it and how many people are really like exploring that and thinking critically about the stuff they listen to. So when you create like videos or write reviews and stuff, you're going to lean on your strengths. So with content creation especially, it's like it's usually like, oh, well, I know a lot about writing, I know a lot about art, I know a lot about game design, et cetera, et cetera. But very few people really focus on the music aspects because we just don't have a lot of experience discussing music in that fashion. And one of the things that I feel is true is that you can be wrong about a lot of things, but nobody wants people to think they have shit taste in music.
Yeah.
and like I think that's one of those things where like music feels more personal. Like music is such a like more personal experience from person to person. So a lot of people struggle to describe those things and articulate those things, but then also they don't want to feel like how they feel about that music is incorrect or like short-sighted and so on and so forth, because it's a very like music is a very like magical thing that goes beyond like a lot of other kinds of mediums in my opinion. And like it just happens to be that people very 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 much so tie themselves to the music they like for various reasons.
I think
closer than other pieces of media.
I think music and soundtrack is, unlike the reviewer side, is also one of the more difficult things to describe or include in a review, just because it's, especially in like a written review, it's one of those things that's like really hard to convey in text.
Yeah.
Right? So I think
it would take a long time.
Typically what I tend to go for is kind of like trying to describe the feeling or the emotion that the music might elicit, because I think in a text format that's a little more descriptive than just being like, oh yeah, like, you know, Persona 5's acid jazz is great. Like that doesn't tell you anything.
It's like, and also like if you were to review the music, you would have to go into breaking down like the tracks, right?
Yeah.
Like if you've ever seen like a music reviewer, it's like that's a whole like video, that's a whole review in and of itself. So like it almost feels like if there was going to be an analysis of the music or a critique of the music or even a review of the music, it would have to be a separate thing, because it is its own, like it's an entirely different medium that's trying to do what the video game is doing that you put into the video game. Like that's the reality. It's like its own like beast, and it's very hard to tackle that in the span of whatever it is you're already making and talking about with respect to the video game.
Yeah.
I guess I will move on to the next question, which is a bit of a follow-up. Let's see. Rambro asks, in a similar vein, how often do you listen to game soundtracks after the fact? Any favorites you return to regularly? I picked up dozens myself. For instance, I know Kazuma loves Akira Yamaoka's work on Silent Hill 2 and 3. And we do have another Kazuma answer, but this one is shorter. And this is our last Kazuma answer. So let me summon his spirit again. I've been listening to the Far Cry 3 OST a lot, particularly a live performance of I'm Sorry, mostly because I'm working through a lot of feelings right now, and the song is very evocative. We got 2 Far Cry 3 mentions in this episode. This is Cullen. I was also blasting the Lawbreakers and Doom 2016 OST on a flight back from a business trip to keep me awake, but my go-tos for video game OSTs are Red Dead Redemption, Far Cry 3 and 4, Silent Hill 4, Deus Ex Human Revolution. So a lot of Western picks for me. Silent Hill OSTs are like that's kind of the go-to, I think.
That's like, I have to be in the mood for like a Silent Hill OST. I can't just go and listen to it anytime, personally. But I think that's just because like
maybe I'm just always in that mood.
Yeah, I think that's just because there's like other kinds of game music that I like. I regularly listen to like Final Fantasy albums or Fire Emblem or Tales. I actually have I have a video saved that I've had saved for like 12 years, and it's just all of the Tales openings back to back.
Nice.
And sometimes I just go listen to that. I do it every like 3 or 4 months, honestly.
I have an answer, but I have to walk away from the microphone to
Okay,
say
I'll
it.
yap
But
for a
you
bit.
go first, Cullen. Yeah, you go first. No, I'll you go first.
I mean, like I'd try to not listen to like exclusively soundtracks, but when I do, you know, like the Silent Hill games are like a great one. Like a lot of times when I listen to game music, it is to specifically like get myself focused in a way, like to do tasks. Like if I'm at work and I need to focus, I'll just like put on a game OST, or when I'm trying to write. I often listen to a lot of like anime OSTs for that fact. But you know, like you can't go wrong with Akira Yamaoka. The fucking SMT5 soundtracks are really good. Any of the Persona games, you got like, you know, the Suda games like Travis Strikes Again. I was listening to that earlier when I was working today. The end credit scene song, like Come to Me, is like really like somber and nice. Um Let's
Yeah.
see. I'm trying not to just say like, oh, this vocal song I heard is really good, because then it'd be like, oh, Alan Wake 2 wins every award in this category forever. Just for the Poe song.
Yeah.
I do think Persona's up there too, in some like varying degrees.
I'll just go ahead and say mine, but I'm gonna just walk away real quick to say it.
So you
Because
can
I have to be loud. Yeah. Okay. The time. Oh, I fucked it up. No, I was gonna scream it. Never mind.
I didn't get any of that.
Oh well.
Do you want to say calmly what you were trying to say?
No, I'm embarrassed now.
Right,
My voice cracked when I tried to sing it, so I couldn't do it anymore. It's the Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance.
Oh god,
yeah.
It's literally the entire album. I'll listen to that all the time. Another one is the Guilty Gear songs. Strive's soundtrack is really good.
I put the Revengeance soundtrack on my iPod Nano when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I've got 2 more. Like fuck amazing to listen to. The Eco soundtrack and the Panzer Dragoon soundtrack, specifically 2 and Saga, have amazing music in those.
Death Stranding.
Yeah. The other big one for me is Ace Attorney. I listen to Ace Attorney stuff a lot.
Yep. I love have you heard of course you have. You've heard like the orchestrated versions of those songs?
Of Ace Attorney,
Ace Attorney stuff?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's why Greatest Attorney is so good, because it starts like with orchestrated OSTs.
It's just
that
game, one of the best games ever. I include both those games as one, basically.
Yep. Fair.
I gotta get to those. I gotta play through Apollo Justice first.
That's all I need.
It's crazy, GC, because you really don't need to play anything before those. You could just play those games because they're good.
I want to. You know me. I'm not the kind of person that plays games in order so that I know the story. I play games in order so I can see the evolution of like its design and like how it approaches certain things and how its like commentary and ethos evolves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like playing stuff in order.
Ram asks, what is your limit for quote unquote bad combat in an RPG? At what point would a combat system be maybe too obtuse to enjoy? Are there RPGs with obtuse or bad combat systems that you think are good actually? This is like a bit of a loaded.
I bounce off this guy really hard. Although I hear this guy too is like really good, but any RPG that requires grinding, so any RPG where it's balanced so atrociously or like intentionally so that the player has to grind, because that's the reality, is that it's like people are inspired by what they like, and some people that make RPGs like grinding in RPGs, so they make RPGs where you have to grind. I will throw that out. The minute I have to stop like doing stuff in a game to go fight like monsters with no real like purpose or direction, I'm gone. I'm not playing it anymore. Like that's my hard rule. I don't grind. Um, Another one is when you have, honestly, complexity is not really an issue. For me, it's width without interaction. So like if an RPG has a lot of mechanics, but those mechanics don't play together in like a good way, and it's just like a bunch of stuff that's just kind of like thrown in to give you something to do, but there's no real like, I'm sure both of you have encountered an RPG like this where you're like, oh, there's this system and this system, right? But nothing I do in either of these systems plays with the other system. And then when I go do the RPG combat, it doesn't really feel like I've done anything of importance to change the way I'm playing that game.
I'm a big game feel guy. I like my buttons to feel really good. And it's why like I will still say Fire Emblem is the like king of SRPGs, because they're like the only people who actually get game feel down so that like navigating menus can even feel satisfying. And like, you know, it's just the way you're able to like go through them is, I think, so finely crafted in a way that like so many other people who make SRPGs just don't care about. So that's pretty like big, and it's kind of why like, you know, I think the games are like good enough, but by the end of the Cold Steel games, I had to turn the difficulty down to like to easy, because I don't think the combat systems feel good. I think they're very slow and they get very boring and like stationary almost.
I did that same
In
thing
what?
in,
Which is why
Trails into Reverie as well.
Okay.
Which is why like the Daybreak games start like maybe like they step back on like a couple like complexities mechanically, but I had so much more fun in Daybreak despite it being a simpler like battle system, just because my buttons actually feel good to play. Like that means the world to me.
Yeah. I think my answer is a little different, because I think my most important thing now, I might have answered differently years ago, but I think now my most important thing is a sense of growth to a combat system. Especially because like that was my big problem with the Cold Steel games, is like the first half of the game it feels good, and then you hit a certain point where it just is the same thing. It feels like you've stopped growing, your characters have stopped meaningfully getting new skills or changing. And so like Cold Steel 3 and 4, especially like the last half of those games, I would just speed through combat, and it just wasn't really doing it.
I kind of feel that with Horizon a little bit.
I felt that
like,
way with Horizon a little bit too. It was not quite as bad as Cold Steel, but I felt that too.
Because early game Horizon is this massive jump up in what you can do, and then it just falls off immediately, and you're kind of just not really adding more mechanics.
Yeah. So like I think a sense of growth is really important. And like that's part of why I love Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth's combat, because for one thing, it grows between those two games. But it also feels like you're getting meaningful additions, whether it's, you know, different characters or new weapons that unlock different skills, new materia that shifts up your options. And the original Final Fantasy VII did that to a degree too, but I think the remake games really double down on that idea, and that's part of why I love them so much.
Yeah, give me new things to like discover every couple hours.
Yeah,
I like that. That's why Romeo's a Dead Man is so fun, is because they're like,
I agree.
They're really pacing out how much new shit you get, so I'm not getting bored. Let's see. Okay. Snigs asks, if you could have a Muppet movie adaptation of any property, what would it be, and who would the various cast members be? Which Muppet would play Char? Or would he be the lone famous actor of the bunch? Char would be the lone famous
We have
actor of the
answered
bunch.
this question before.
Have we?
Somebody has asked
Muppet
this
Gunham?
question before. Somebody has asked a Muppet movie adaptation question before.
Oh. Well, let's
But
just
we're
pick
gonna
some
answer it
random
again.
thing. Muppet style remake of Persona 4.
Yeah, that would
That'd
work.
actually go pretty hard. Like Kermit's Kermit's you Narukami. And then Miss Piggy is Rise.
Yeah. I would love a Muppet remake of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. And then the main character, what's his fucking name?
Larry David.
The guy.
Larry David. It's just
Larry
it's
David
just
would have
Larry
to be
David.
played by Gonzo.
Yeah.
No, it would have to be Gonzo.
Yeah.
And then Larry
Well,
David would need to play a different character to be the human like cameo in the Muppet movie.
I especially
Like
would love
the
it because
human
Larry
character?
David fucking hates Muppets. He hates them so much.
Yeah.
Well, okay, no. I think you make a
Oh,
Muppet
Kirby.
Larry David. Everybody's Muppets. All
Hello,
of the
you.
other Muppets play characters in Curb, but like Larry David is a Muppet. Like, so everyone else is a Muppet, like the Muppet cast member, and then you have
But Larry
Muppet
David is a Larry David Muppet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would be good. And it's just a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode, but Larry David is a Muppet, and then the episode is about the Muppet Show.
Yeah.
And he's talking to
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog about the Muppet Show. And like Kermit's like, sorry, late David. I just don't think I don't think we can put you in the
It's
next
just-
episode.
Larry, it's really hard to find work these days. I just keep getting typecast. Like maybe like in your Seinfeld reunion, can you give me some
I
work?
was
It's
thinking
like,
maybe I could be a guest character.
no.
You give me a role. I can do a stand up with Jerry.
It's like, well, of course I couldn't, because I'm fucking Miss Piggy. I couldn't get Kermit on. Are you kidding?
a Seinfeld Muppet show where Fozzie Bear is Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh my god.
Waka waka.
I guess Beaker
I
would
love the
probably be
Muppets.
Kramer.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right.
What's going on in there, Kramer?
Okay. Let's see. Speedwagon asks, do the boys have comfort meals? What's the thing you make for yourself after a shift at the long day factory? I mean, if I make something for myself after a shift at the long day factory, it's like garbage, like crap.
Yeah.
Like, I
It's
don't,
something that I don't have to
but
spend
like
a lot of time
my comfort, like my actual,
if any time.
yeah. But if
Well,
I'm like,
that's not.
what GC?
That's not that wouldn't be my answer, but well, there's a follow up question that would fit the what both of you are discussing. But if you have time, like, what is like your comfort meal of like when you what is the thing that you wish you could eat? I guess
Curry.
would be a better way to frame it.
I make a mean curry.
I like
I
breakfast for dinner in it. Like putting a lot of work into breakfast for dinner, like
oh fuck yeah,
making really good pancakes and bacon and like an omelet or
oh
over
my
easy or like
god,
yeah. So like putting the effort into breakfast for dinner.
that's such a good answer. Fuck, I want breakfast for dinner right now. I would make my go-to like comfort meal has always been picadillo, which is a Cuban picadillo, a Cuban recipe variant of it. The Cuban specific recipe for picadillo, which is it's ground beef. You can put green peppers and red peppers in there, onions if you want for to season your pan before you put in the beef and so on. A little bit of pasta sauce, some Yukon potatoes, so like golden potatoes. You skin those, you chop those up into cubes or like those weird like wedge shapes that potatoes often end up in when you like cut them into quadrants and eighths. And then you take a few Spanish olives. You do like 5 to 10 Spanish olives, and then very importantly, you pour some of the olive juice that they sit in the jar. You pour that in as well. You stir that all up. You let that cook. You put your seasonings in it. Your garlic powder, your onion powder, your sazon, your paprika, some thyme if you're feeling frisky. And you serve that with rice, and it's to die for. It's so good. I love it so much. I can make it in an instant pot, which is why sometimes it's also my go-to for the long day factory, because it takes maybe like 15 to 20 minutes to get everything like set up, and then you can just walk away and wait for it to be done.
I guess like a really
I
easy
see what you
meal.
mean now.
Sorry.
Because the next question is literally like the opposite of this one, of
The
your
struggle
like,
meal.
The struggle meal, which Dumb Bitch Disease says, piggybacking off this, what's y'all struggle meal? When the long day factory was too long, what do you make when you're too tired for anything else and at a pinch? So we could like fold that question into this question and just have one big discussion on it.
Yeah.
That for
Hot
me
dog.
is
Totino's pizza.
yeah, Totino's pizza is a good one. I have like this,
Like the square
when I was a
one?
kid, my grandma used to make what she would call milk shell ronies, which is just like you cook macaroni in milk, and you can add like sugar to it or Parmesan cheese, to like sweeten it. But it would be what she would make for me when I was sick, and so like that's kind of been just like a comfort thing for me that is really easy. You just put some milk in a pot and boil the macaroni
really good.
in it. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That sounds really fucking good.
I
do
for
hot
dinner-
dog.
It was a
For
big
dinner
dog,
tonight-
it was a
ketchup.
big poverty recipe. That's where she learned it when she was a kid. So
Yeah.
for dinner
Ketchup
tonight
on a hot
after,
dog.
Like, I finished work. I literally like I went into my freezer. I popped out one of those square Totino's pepperoni pizzas.
oh my god, those are so good. I literally ate one 2 nights ago.
They're garbage, but they're like upper, like high end garbage.
Yeah.
Like that is the finest.
You mean like it's bad for you?
Well,
Yeah.
It's not. I might not even say it tastes like pizza. It tastes like Totino's pizza.
Yeah. I don't know that
It's
it's any
good.
worse for you than like an average pizza though, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, it's like about
it's
the
like
same.
it is a pizza. It's just like the
Yeah.
flavorings. People be like, "Oh, this does not taste
And
like
it's still
pizza." I'm
cheap
like, yeah,
as
it's
shit.
Totino's
They're like
pizza.
$1.50, dude.
Oh, they're so like,
so cheap.
yeah, like you buy. I think I spent like I got like 3 for like $5. And like one of those is a meal. It'll make you feel bad after, but I wasn't looking to feel good today.
Hot dogs are a good one, but not my struggle thing because my partner's really weird and she doesn't like beef hot dogs. She only likes turkey dogs, but she'll also only eat one brand of turkey dogs that we can only find.
Yeah, that's how hot dogs
We
work.
can only find at the dollar store right now. So that's
Yeah, no, real respect's real. I only eat Nathan's hot dogs. I will not
Yeah.
eat any other kind of hot dogs. I don't think those taste good. I'll
Yeah.
only eat a Nathan's dog. Aside from
I
hot
got
dog,
go ahead.
aside from hot dogs, nothing wrong with a toasted ham sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a grilled cheese.
It's always good. I got pickier about hot dogs after I worked at a movie theater, and
Oh yeah.
those are gross. And you clean the hot dog
Oh,
grill,
yeah.
and you see what those look like after they've sat there for 6 hours, and ugh, it's bad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good enough.
Another podcast. Yep. We can now
Oh, we're done with questions.
disperse into our. Yeah, we're done. We can now disperse into our different corners of the earth and reconvene in about 2 weeks.
That's a good question to end
That's
on.
right.
because I'm like really hungry now, actually.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm starving. I'm ready to go order some IHOP or some Denny's.
Oh, that'd be good.
Oh yeah, I have a gift card to IHOP actually.
All right.
Anyway, folks. Oh yeah. Anyway, folks, thank you for joining us today on this great grand episode, as it always is. If you know where to find us, you found us. If you don't know where to find us, well, you do now. Until next time, just keep on keeping on. Try to avoid the burnout, and we'll see you next at the at the bi-weekly Burnout meeting. Okay, bye.
Stay silly.
Bye.